In this video, we're going to be showing how to properly prep and install the number 63 super screw. We have a 24-inch wide piece of belt, so we're going to determine our angle is going to be 8 inches. You can either use that calculation that was shown on the screen before, 0.33 times your belt width of 24, round up to your nearest inch, or for every 12 inches of belt width, you're going to have 4 inches of angle. It's important to factor in the starting length of the belt because we're going to have some belt loss creating this angle. So in this case, 8 inches of loss. So if you wanted your finished length of the belt to be 20 inches, you'd have a start length of 20 feet, 8 inches. So starting on the left side where we had our 8-inch mark, take a straight edge down to the opposite corner. This is going to be the piece of belt that is going to be thrown out or discarded. And when we're creating our angle too, you always want to have the top cover or the thicker cover facing up. So when you're facing the belt, you always start your angle from the left-hand side. For a 63 super screw, we're going to be removing 2 inches, a width of 2 inches from the top cover. With a straight edge, connect your line together. Okay, then you can start making your cuts, not all the way down into the plies, just through the top cover. He's going to be using a utility knife. He's been fabricating for over 20 years, so he's very skilled. You can use like a round nose mill knife, but you just want to make sure that you're not cutting down into your plies or the strength of your belt, the fabric portion. He's going to make 2 passes. It's a lot easier to remove 2 smaller strips than 1 big one. Just make your life easier. Okay, just like filleting a fish, he's going to get that the edge started up. Just kind of slowly peeling it. Once you get it started, it starts coming back a little bit easier. Eventually, he's going to be grabbing that top cover with a pair of pliers and then peeling it all the way back, removing the complete top cover. Okay, top cover is removed. Here's a little side profile view. Now what we like to do is put in a 1/4 inch bevel. So if you have a cleaner on your system, there's a nice smooth transition. So again, just putting 2 marks at a 1/4 inch. Straight edge, connect your line. And we're going to be using a hot knife for this. You can use a good sharp utility knife if you have a steady hand. Our fabricator just likes to use a hot knife or a tire groover. All right, the top side is finished. Has a nice smooth bevel. Now we're going to start the back side. This would be the bottom cover, or the thinner side. We're going to put marks at about 2 3/16 of an inch, because we will not be putting a bevel into the bottom side, because it won't be seen a cleaner. So removing the bottom cover, you can do it just like the top side with your utility knife and your pliers. But we're going to be using a hot knife on this one. You can see we're just leaving one little skim of the rubber that separates the plies. It's very, very important that you don't get down into the carcass of your belt. Like we said before, that's where all the strength in your belt comes from. It's not the rubber, it's the ply material or your weave. Looks like a nice even finish. Side number 1 is done. We're prepping our number 63 super screw right now. If you order from the factory or from a distributor, you can have it cut to length. It will come with your screws, the right thickness or millimeter screw in the right length. We get it in bulk rolls. So for a 24-inch wide belt, we're going to have a 25-inch splice. Those little spacers are just so when we're installing the first side, we know that we're exactly in the middle. It gives it something rigid to bump up against. After installing on the first side, those blue spacers will be removed when marrying with the second side of the belt. We use a chop saw because there are metal washers that are vulcanized on the inside of the splice itself. So thickness after skive, or removing the covers, that's going to determine what millimeter of screw that we're going to use. In this case, it's 14. You'll know you have the right one once you start putting the first few screws on once you get your splice even. You should see just a little bit of the screw poking out the bottom side. Space it evenly between each side of the belt. And it's important that you have it tight up to those washer, or that blue spacer in the middle. Evenly all the way across. Start by getting one in. Ensure when you're putting your screw in that it should be kind of firm and it sinks right below that recess collar. If it free spins, that means you missed the washer on the opposite side. This will happen time to time. So if you miss, just back the screw out, start with a new one. I'm going to space them evenly, moving down from the center out. Now we're going to start working from the center of the belt, top to bottom, all the way out to the edge until you have all the available holes filled. Okay, we're removing the spacer. And we're ready to pair with the other side that we had prepped already. Just like on the first side, make sure it's in nice and tight, snug. Our belt edges line up, no gaps. Right? Double checking that we're nice and flush. Looks good. Flush there. Yep, same as the first side. Start from the center, work towards your edges. Once you get a few of them kind of just tacked into place, you'll start in the middle, work top to bottom all the way on your way out till all the available holes are filled. And you don't want to over tighten either, just so that washer is down below the recess. That's on that you can see the little circles on top. We have a nice smooth even splice. Last thing that we need to do yet, they're just poking through. That's what we want to see. We are gonna bevel those edges right there so there's no pinch points, just like you would dog ear another belt.